The purpose of this video is to review how landed costs work in Odoo's version 12. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure you go to Inventory, Configuration, Settings. And when you're here, when you type in landed, if I could type today, you want to turn on landed costs, and you can see you can have different landed cost types. And right now I have freight as a type, and you'll see you can specify the name, the split method, whether it's equal by quantity, by current cost, by weight, or by volume. We'll leave it equal here. The cost of this particular landed cost, and then the product type, just it's a consumable. Or you could track it as a service or whatever you want. So once it's set as that, now let's go through the workflow. So let's purchase something. We'll purchase this test product. We'll say we want to buy 1 unit at $100 to keep it simple. We'll confirm the purchase order, and then we'll go ahead and receive these products into our stock. And once they're in stock, then we can go to Inventory, Operations, Landed Cost, create a new landed cost, specify the date, specify a specific transfer, which we're relating this to. So it's not at the PO, it is at the PO level, but it's at an even deeper level than the PO. It's at the inventory receipt level, because you may receive some units on this day and time, and some units may get pushed 6 months or whatever, 3 weeks or days into the future because they're on back order, and you'll see that Odoo will allow you to apply it to the transfer and not the general PO as a whole. So we apply it to the transfer, specify a journal, and then I can add my product. I'm going to add the freight, and I'm going to say I can split by quantity, whatever I want here, right? And I can specify a new cost. Maybe this cost, we'll say, was just $30. And then when I click compute, you'll see it computes the cost here. So it says the freight is being added to the test product, the weight, volume, quantity, the former cost per unit, the former cost, and the additional landed cost. And once I go ahead and validate that, it updates my cost and posts the journal entry here, which I can see here, credits, expenses, and debits, stock valuation account. So now when I go to my reporting, inventory valuation, you'll see the cost of my test product is $130, not $100. I can always see the details here. The additional, the 100 it came in as, and then in receipt, and then the landed cost, which was applied here. So you can always see what the valuation underlying a specific product, where it comes from, and all of its different pieces. So that is, in a nutshell, how landed costs work in Odoo. Just to take you on one more quick tour, let's go through the process. Purchase order. Of course, you bring your product in, and we'll use multiple units here. We'll bring in 10 units at $100. We'll remove taxes to keep the math simple, and we'll confirm that order. We'll receive our 10 units in on warehouse out 002. Brings those in. Then we'll go to our inventory, operations, landed cost, create a new landed cost, specify our journal, specify our transfer we want to reference, add the freight or whatever other landed cost you want to apply, and then we'll break it out by quantity, and we'll say it's 500. And compute. There we have it, 10 units at this particular former cost. This is the former cost as a whole, and the additional landed cost is 500. And save it, and watch, if we go look at the reporting valuation, you'll see that we have test product, we have $1,130 worth on hand, right? Because we had the $130 worth, and then we brought in the additional 10 units at $1,000, which is another $1,000. And 1,000 plus 130 gives us 1,130. But the minute that we validate this second landed cost, journal entries get posted, and the cost of those products change. We're now up to 1,630. And again, I can drill down and see all the details and drill down into those landed costs which occurred, driving the underlying cost of a specific product and inventory valuation at the product level. So if you have any additional questions about how that functionality works, or if anything's unclear, you can let me know. What's also important to keep in mind that as you're selling products, the cost of goods sold, or the cost of this product, in order to compute margin, it will take the landed cost, right? This new cost in the system here is the cost of the product, right? Because that is now when you sell this product. If I sell that first unit, right, I brought it in for 100, it went up to 130. If I sell that unit, it'll be $130 cost price, and maybe I sell it for 200, I'd see a margin of $70 on that. I would not see a margin of $100, right? The 100 that I initially bought it for versus the 200, right? So the landed cost price becomes the new price going forward. The cost price for that product, once the landed cost is applied, becomes the new cost price for that product going forward in the system, in whatever way that particular product may interact with any other element, whether it's the manufacturing and you want to understand the cost of the raw material after the new land with the landed cost. It's all baked in. Same goes for sales. Same goes for anything else that may come about. So if you have any additional questions on that, let me know. Thanks so much for listening, and hope it was helpful.